Day Street Books and HarperAudio present Lost at Sea. Poverty and Paradise Collide at the Edge of America by Joe Kloc. Read by David Baerwald. For Mom. I am a true adorer of life, and if I can't reach as high as the face of it, I plant my kiss somewhere lower down. Saul Bellow, Henderson the Rain King. Author's note. The anchor-outs are classified as homeless by the Marin County Department of Health and Human Services. The diversity of the community challenges that definition. While some live in dire poverty, suffer many of the same ailments common among the chronically unhoused, and live on unseaworthy vessels simply to have a roof over their heads. Others hold down jobs, have retirement pensions, and could secure housing but have no desire to do so. With regards to the anchor-outs, this book uses the terms homeless and, when referring to specific people, unhoused, for two reasons. First, because many of the policies directed at the community conceive of it that way. And second, because as the book progresses through the years, the description unfortunately becomes more proximal to the truth. But ultimately it is flawed. Likewise, the national unhoused population is not in all ways represented by the anchor-outs. Only about half of the U.S. unhoused population is white, whereas the vast majority of the anchor-outs are. This difference may in part be due to the demographics of Sausalito itself, where over 90% of the residents are white. This demographic is in part a function of the fact that during World War II, when thousands of Southern black laborers arrived for work at the shipyards, they were unable to join unions, given lower-paying jobs, and denied access to both loans and home-buying opportunities in the city. Many went instead to neighboring Marin City, which today is 26% black. It shares a zip code with Sausalito, but not a budget. Lastly, in Sausalito, the residents serving on the city council, including in the role of mayor, changed to some extent on a yearly basis, subject to elections. For this reason, when referring to their words and actions, this book does not attempt to identify and introduce each member by name, but only by his or her position. As the listener will see, the political will of the council has remained consistent, regardless of the individual office holders at any given moment. In places, transcripts of their meetings are edited for clarity and length. Introduction. This is a story about people who, for one reason or another, have come to live on abandoned vessels anchored in the waters of Richardson Bay, a 2-square-mile saltwater estuary just north of San Francisco. Among them are retired mariners, single mothers, runaways, artists, addicts, and many others who caught a bad break from which they haven't yet recovered. A divorce, a lost job, a jail sentence. There are those who hope their pasts won't find them, and those who wish they would. With little or no money in their pockets, they make their way together on the water. Some grow vegetables in 10-gallon buckets and trade them for a helping hand from seasoned liveaboards who know how to patch a hull after a winter storm. Others look after the children whose parents must take the bus down to San Francisco or up to San Rafael to work an odd job or receive treatment for a stubborn ache or cough. The elders, some of whom are in their 90s, use their Social Security checks and military pensions to buy hot dogs and whiskey to feed the congregations of the Pirate Church, a gathering of worshipers who meet each week on the patio outside the public library to stand atop picnic tables and read from the Torah and the New Testament about the promise of days to come. This community, known as the Anchor-Outs, dates back at least to the earthquake and fires of 1906, but many consider themselves heirs to much older histories, to the early days of the gold rush, when prospectors came in search of luck and found none, or to the days when Alta California was Mexican and Spanish before that, when the sea captain from whom the bay takes its name first sold fresh water to sailors seeking refuge on their way up the then uncharted Pacific coast, or to the coast Miwok, the original inhabitants of the Marin Hills who sailed and traded along those waters, whose way of life was ruined in different ways by each successive group's arrival, and about
Sample complete. Ready to continue?